Dawn, you Tabor Hill, how dare you make a ninja challenge video right before I release mine? As if we haven't both been working on these things long before today. Not really, darn him, obviously. He's a great guy. Some of you may know of him. I know our audiences overlap a little. If you don't, he is all about COD challenge guides, and he takes a very thorough approach to his work. He's definitely not one to flip out a 3-minute half-baked video repeating some tip found on Reddit or whatever. He does a ton of testing, and I can definitely respect that. Anyway, I will still go ahead with making this ninja video because I said I would a while ago. I've already done nearly all the work for it, and I promise I can make this a unique and entertaining video. I have all my own stuff to say and show in terms of gameplay. Sometimes even getting to see more clips of Ninja-defuses can be helpful in giving you an idea as to how it is done, and we'll be doing some fun decision tree stuff. I made a custom flowchart for this. Anyway, we'll get there. Also, even putting the entire challenge guide part aside, it's generally pretty funny to see Ninja-defuses. People make montages of these things all the time. Anyway, it won't be one big echo of his video. I would hate to make something completely redundant or ever feel like I'm copying someone. I will say I haven't actually watched his video before making this. This is just a little edit I'm tagging onto the front of the video. The bulk of it was already made, and there's a good and bad side to that. The good is that it means my ideas weren't influenced by his. I'm not copying him. But the bad is that I can't guarantee I'm not saying the same things he did, and I could even say something dumb. Anyway, I would suggest perhaps watching both of our videos and comparing and contrasting them and combining them to make up your own ultimate guide about how you will approach the challenge. Now, the Ninja Challenge, 5 clutch medals. Quite the journey of frustration, not because it is the most time-consuming challenge or even the most difficult challenge, but in order for you to have a chance at getting a clutch medal, there's a lot that needs to come together and fall into place just right. And because of that, there's a lot of time wasted where you're just waiting for your opportunity to try for the clutch, which in my opinion makes for a very frustrating challenge, all that downtime. However, there's a lot you can do to prepare and increase your chances, and I will tell everything I've learned over time when I went through and did it for myself. It was about 3 weeks ago now when I did it, but don't worry, I haven't forgotten a bit. It will be hard to get those memories out of my head. All in all, it took me about 12 hours over a few days of trying to get it. That's real life time, not in-game time, so that isn't too terrible, but I also maybe got a bit lucky here and there. Alright, the first step isn't going to be designing a class. We want to go even further back than that. I strongly suggest you start by customizing your character here. Make yourself look stealthy. I know usually that's a joke, how people say, you know, doesn't having all that flashy gold gear and dark matter camo crap make you an easier target? But really, when you're playing Team Deathmatch or whatever, you aren't going to do any better or worse because of your camo popping out more. Maybe 1 in every 1,000 deaths will be because someone was able to spot you more easily. However, when you're going for Ninja-defuses, it really does matter. When you're lying on the ground and hiding, being dark and unassuming and possibly mistaken for a dead body, versus being covered in flashy gold with a swirling purple galaxy gun on your back, is huge, and that can easily be the difference between success and failure. I'll talk about the abilities in a second. I love using Spectre, and it seems appropriate after all. His character is all about stealth, so I went with this combination for a balance of style and camouflage. I only used active camo for this challenge, but there are a few abilities you could use that make sense. We can run through them real quick, and I'll tell you why I chose active camo. Overdrive doesn't do much for this challenge. Vision Pulse gives you away more than it will help you, I think. Glitch can help you win the round if the defuse goes bad, but that doesn't really help with the challenge. Kinetic Armor, kinda. It is something that you can activate when you go for a defuse to try to protect you, buy yourself a bit of extra time, but I would not say it's that helpful. I never liked Kinetic Armor. Maybe it's better than I'm giving it credit for, and I'm letting too much bias creep in here, but I think what makes Kinetic Armor okay is when you're moving around, because it's still easy to kill you with headshots, melee, or explosives. So I think when you're lying there defusing, you're easy to headshot, easy to stab, and I think worst of all, the kinetic armor is kinda noisy and definitely very bright. If you were going for the stealth approach, too bad that armor is going to give you away lying on the ground by the bomb. For those reasons, I think it's more gimmicky than actually practical, but you could give it a try and see how it goes. Combat focus does not apply. Rejack, it is a pretty good and maybe unfair ability in Search and Destroy. It can give you a second chance at the round, which can definitely come in handy. But for this challenge, I would also say it's more gimmicky than practical. I mean, you can come up with scenarios where this helps you. Like, I watched one Black Ops 3 Ninja-defuse montage where a guy had Rejack, he started the defuse, got killed, and put into Rejack mode. The guy who killed him got distracted by, like, a teammate or whatever. The Rejack guy waited until the very last second to revive himself. He, like, faked that he let himself die, I guess. And then he came back and managed to get the defuse. Is that possible? Yeah, for sure. I'm sure it happened. It's not like it's so crazy that it had to be staged. But is it likely? No, I guarantee nearly every time you try that strategy, whoever downed you into reject mode will stand right over your prone body and shoot you right back down when you revive yourself. It would take a real noob not to notice you used rejack and not notice that signature rejack sound and let you continue the defuse. Psychosis, maybe it'll buy you some time in a perfect world, but nobody's buying that for long enough where one clone is suspiciously lying down at the bomb site. Active camo, I love it. The definition of a stealth ability. It can help you sneak by someone, and it can help you get a defuse for sure. Clips of attempting an active camo defuse will be later in the video. Finally, heat wave, which might just have to be a close second. I can definitely see it being useful. You can activate heat wave while defusing, and that may buy you enough time to finish the defuse. If you're already getting shot, it probably won't save you, because whoever it is can just hold down the trigger. Heat wave doesn't knock you off your aim a whole lot, it just makes you blind and slow. But I want to say Heatwave being helpful is within the realm of possibility. But now I do want to say something about all these abilities, and now I kind of wish I didn't spend that much time talking about them, because it doesn't matter that much which ability you go with, because if you're playing the way I recommend to do this challenge, you aren't going to be getting a ton of kills and therefore not a lot of score, and the base earn time is so slow in SnD for these things anyway, that you likely won't ever earn your ability most of the time. When it's a close game, the rounds are going long, and it's a 2-3 or a 3-3, and you have a few kills, you might have your ability for one use, but most of the time, the game will end before you even get it. Keep that in mind, the abilities aren't integral to the strategy here, because you won't always have it. Time officially wasted. Not really, though. I did want to take a look at them all, so someone doesn't think that, ooh, the heat wave might be a crazy OP ability that I just didn't think of. Anyway, moving on to a class, and this is what mine looked like. There are some things you could change up. Number one, I have a smoke grenade on here, which seems like something you might want, right? Smoke yourself off, hide in there, easy ninja defuse. But in practice, I don't think it actually helps. I always preferred to just try to defuse without the smoke, because if anything, the smoke draws a lot of attention to yourself. If someone sees a smoke grenade go off right next to the bomb, what would you do? Probably walk inside and see if someone is defusing, and there are lights all over Black Ops 3 characters that make you easier to spot in the smoke. Sometimes you can run into a noob who doesn't think to check out the smoke, but we're not planning for noobs here, so you really don't need that. Well, what can you do with that point? Other tacticals maybe, like flashbangs to help you defuse? Well, again, I don't think that's a big help. To me, you're just saying, hey everyone guarding the bomb, I have arrived. If you get flashbang defending the bomb, you are now on high alert. It'll wear off long before anyone can get on the bomb and complete a defuse, and you know the guy is coming now. Look at the bomb, look at the door, look at the bomb. Maybe if you combine a flashbang with the active camo or something crazy like that, you could pull it off, but I could come up with infinite scenarios where that does and doesn't work out. Ultimately, a lot of this does come down to luck and who you're playing against, and I don't think a strategy like that is realistically improving your odds a whole lot. It might even be hurting it. So, well, maybe a black cell to shoot down UAVs, which might be nice since Ghost doesn't hide you when you're lying down somewhere. But the biggest problem with that is that I don't want a big bulky launcher on my back, and the solution to that might be the black hat. But I don't want to be fiddling with that thing in the middle of an SnD game, trying to hack a UAV in the middle of all what I'm trying to do, so maybe just an extra attachment here and give up on it. I'm using a suppressed SMG with the stealth camo, I might add. That doesn't matter, of course, but I do recommend either using no camo or, you know, one of these. Just avoid your integer and policia and all of these. I know you're proud of your dark matter, but now is not the time. Again, you might think that avoiding flashy camos is me giving gimmicky strategies, but no, I honestly believe it's important. It's not about blending in with the actual ground textures or anything. It's just about not catching someone's eye needlessly. Can you get a ninja defuse with a dark matter weapon? Yeah, obviously you can, but why not increase your odds a little and get rid of it? With the perks, Ghost is good, it hides you when moving and defusing. Unlikely that someone will call on a UAV at the last second when you're defusing, but you wouldn't want a UAV to be your downfall. I like Flak Jacket to avoid any Hail Mary grenades, but I could see using Sixth Sense for those times that you're lying right next to a bomb site, like in this position on Fringe B site. Your minimap will light up to let you know someone is planting, and you can use that to get into a ninja position. Hardwired is very, very good. You can avoid all the trip mines, shock charges, and C4 alarms without destroying them. Many people use those and rely on them to let them know when someone is getting near the bomb, so if you can ignore them without making any noise taking them out, that's huge for you, and it will also help you avoid Sixth Sense users. I don't think too many people use it, but again, you don't want that to be your downfall, and if the guy planting has it whom you are lying behind, you're completely screwed. You might be thinking, what about cold-blooded? But you might be mistakenly thinking that cold-blooded still hides the red name above your head like it has done in past games, but no, it does not, which makes it not very useful. There is no perk in the game that hides the names, actually. If there was, I would use it, because I would love to avoid moments like this one. That hiding spot on Fringe is pretty good, but he saw the name pop up, and that's the end of me. In fact, I used cold-blooded for a little while going through this challenge because I am an idiot. Don't be like me. It isn't like SnD is completely infested with thermal users, and it warrants cold-blooded to help you defuse. If someone is aiming at you defusing, thermal or not, I think they already know you're there. Here I have Blast Suppressor and Dead Silence. I want to be very, very quiet. I went back and forth between having Blast Suppressor and Awareness to be able to hear enemy movements better. I would just have to avoid using the boost entirely. I can't say one combination is objectively better overall, depends on how you use it. But there you go, that's a class. I would like to get to the meat of the video, 10 minutes in, which is strategy. How should you approach everything? And for that, I did a few drafts of this on paper. I came up with a decision tree or flowchart thing, one of those is probably more technically correct, that represents more or less what I was doing when I went for this challenge. It's not like I made this for myself back then. This is just the result of everything I figured out when I was doing it. I looked back on why I failed, why I succeeded, and made this thing. It is not perfect, nor does it account for every scenario, but I got it to fit on one screen, and for that reason I like it. I'll go through and explain it, and then for the rest of the video, I'll be going through individual clips of all my ninja diffuses and some attempts if I think there's something to learn from it, and I'll be showing what I did and how it follows the logic of the chart. All of the questions are in color here, and all of the instructions are in white. We'll start on the left here with a case where your team is much better than the enemy team. And in that case, as you can tell, you're screwed. Dead end. That is the accolade for winning the match, and that's what's going to happen. If your team is too good and they stay alive and win every round, you will never get an opportunity to try for the clutch medal, even if the enemy team gets a plant, because let me be really clear here and reiterate what the challenge needs you to do. You might think of a ninja defuse as defusing the bomb while the enemy is still alive, or that thing where you lie down behind the guy planting and immediately pick up the briefcase and defuse right after he's done, making him look like a fool for not checking right away. But there's an extra stipulation to the Ninja Challenge. You need clutch medals, which means you need all of that, and you need to be the last man alive. You can't have teammates alive. So here I defused the bomb while the enemy team was still alive. That already isn't super easy to do, but that isn't a clutch medal because my team is still here. And again, right here, I managed to sneak my way into the bomb site and get a sneaky defuse while the enemies are alive, but so is my team, not a clutch medal. This is an insanely close one right here. I take this guy out and figure out now or never, I really need to hope my teammate dies over there. Look at this timing. The bomb is finished defusing. He dies right after, and that is not a clutch medal because the defuse finished right before he died. Feels bad, man. Now that we're clear about that, that's why if your team doesn't die for you, you're out of luck. Sorry. This clip right here is how I feel when my team is way too good and they're winning every round. There's just nothing you can do about it. The two cases in the middle here account for when your team is in the same ballpark as the enemy team. Thankfully, that happens most often. They can win, they can lose. That should be the majority of the time. And in that case, I recommend hiding safe, which means hiding somewhere out in the corner of the map where you don't expect to run into anyone. You have to remove yourself from the game. Don't be killing enemies yet because you need the enemies. You need them to kill off all your teammates if you even want to have a chance at this. So unless you see that the scale is clearly tipping in favor of the enemy and it's a 2v5 maybe, don't think about helping out. You have to be a dick to have a better shot at this challenge. Remember, I will be showing specific gameplay for all of this when I'm done going through it the first time. So when either you are the last alive or the bomb is planted, you take action. First, if you're the last alive or about to be the last alive, like that 2v5 situation, remember that a 2v5 is basically a 1v5 for your teammates since you aren't helping them. So in a situation like that, you can begin moving up. I recommend stealthily approaching the site and picking off solo enemies as you go. Now that your team is dead, assuming any teammates have perished, you want to try to even the playing field down to as close to a 1v1 as you can, so if you see a guy running around, assuming that he isn't the last one left, take him out and get out of there to reposition. Now you're waiting for that bomb plant. If, however, the bomb plant happens before you are the last alive, very similar, you just slowly move towards the bomb site, allowing all your teammates to go in ahead of you and hopefully die. Yep, baiting your team 101, ladies and gents. If they end up winning, well, too bad for you. Bad luck at any step can easily land you down there in the bottom left corner. There's a lot that you can't control, even if you make the best plays. So, filtering out all the times that that step went poorly, if that has gone well, you are the last alive and the bomb is planted. Your next decision depends on how many people are left. This is very opinionated, but again, this is what I ended up doing when I got better at this. If there are 1 to 2 enemies left, well, first of all, if you see the opportunity to ninja, no matter how many people are left, by that I mean the classic ninja method where we've all seen in the Ninja Defuse montages, lying down behind the planter and stealing the briefcase from him when he's done. If you can do that, try it. It's surprisingly effective. You would think everyone's ready for it by now, but not the case. I don't have a big set of data to tell you it works 43% of the time, but it is a legitimate method and I recommend giving it a go if you can. If not, though, if you don't happen to see the guy planting with enough time to sneak behind him, which is more likely, you'll need a different tactic. So with 1 to 2 enemies left, but especially 1 enemy, let's set this up. Pretend you're in a 1v1, the bomb is planted. That one other guy is definitely watching the bomb, right? He just planted it. He doesn't want to fail the team. There's nobody else to watch the bomb. It's all him. And you can't kill him. You need him alive. So you can't just rush in there and hope he isn't paying attention. All the flashbangs and smokes and active camos probably won't do much for you if he is reasonably attentive. I recommend hiding near the bomb site, but not going in entirely. I have some great footage of this. Don't make any noise, trick him into thinking maybe you're AFK or maybe you're just bad and you're not going for the bomb. Wait until the very last moment and then try to sneak in there and defuse. Is that going to guarantee you a clutch? No, but in that situation, I think it's your best shot. Like I said, I have some great examples to get to. You'd be surprised how many people leave the bomb site at around 8 seconds figuring I'm not going for it and they didn't hear or see me anywhere nearby, so I just don't have time to get there and defuse. That's the best time to try for the defuse in a 1v1 because he'll more likely be on high alert the rest of the time. A good player will watch it to the end, but people get cocky, it happens. Now, other scenario, if there are 3 or more enemies, that strategy is going to be very tough. Still, if you see the opportunity to ninja, go for it. Otherwise, you can try something different. Because there are so many people alive, the chances are that they aren't all in the bomb site. In a 1v4, let's say, maybe 2 of them are guarding the bomb, but the other 2 are patrolling the map, they just got in gunfights with other teammates, and they're looking for me, because they figure they don't need to watch the bomb, they trust those 2 teammates to do it. You can hope for that case and exploit it. So approach the site, then enter quickly and kill any defenders who are guarding the bomb. After you've cleared the bomb site of visible threats, don't waste any time, immediately defuse the bomb, and hope that any reinforcements are too far away to stop you, or that they think you're kind of looking for them and still trying to kill them before going for the risky defuse. Those 3 methods, with luck of course, can get you to your clutch medal. Finally, back to the top, if the enemy team is much better than your team, that can mean that they're way more skilled and winning every round, or maybe that they have way more people. If the round starts as a 6v3, that counts as the enemy team being much better. I would recommend trying to hide close, which is more like what you're used to seeing in traditional ninja defuses. Going prone near a site somewhere you can hide, waiting to hear a plant, and then immediately going for the true ninja defuse. The problem with doing that all the time is that your team may often still be alive when you ninja defuse, and that is of no use to you even if you pull it off. Hence why you can only attempt this when the enemy team way overpowers yours. And if the enemy team is that good, hiding safe will probably not work in that scenario because it'll be really hard to get all the way to the bomb site, avoiding all 6 competent enemies on the way there. So hide close to the bomb site. However, you may encounter the problem of the AFK kick timer. It doesn't matter as much when you're hiding safe because you can move around back there, it doesn't matter. But if you move around hiding next to a bomb site, that can get you spotted and ruin everything. I timed it out in SnD and it is a 1-minute timer. You get a warning saying you're about to be kicked at 50 seconds of not moving. And it isn't easy to get rid of this. Spamming buttons or triggers and a bit of joystick movement isn't going to do it. You practically have to stand up and move a little to make sure you don't get kicked. And that sucks. If it happens at the wrong time, it can completely give you away. Like right here, that guy had the bomb too. That completely wrecked my chances in that round, although I'll admit it probably wouldn't have happened anyway because my teammate way over there would not have died in time. Anyway, be aware of that. I have fallen victim to the AFK kick. I just look away at a different monitor because all I'm doing is hiding and waiting to hear a bomb plant, and before you know it, oop, kicked! Oof, Treyarch, you got me! I was trying to AFK farm crypto keys. Darn it all, foiled again. Thank thank God for the AFK kick timer. Set it a goddamn minute, stopping all those AFK farmers. There are so many better ways they could do that to not kick people who are just hiding and actually kick AFK people. Alright, moving on. If the bomb is planted at the other site that you aren't hiding next to, bad luck, you're basically sent right into the situation we just discussed. If it is planted at your site, just go right for that true ninja defuse and hope your team dies in time. At the end of it, you'll either die and end up over there in the bottom left corner, get a hero medal in the bottom right there, or get that clutch medal if your team dies. As you can see, all the paths leading to the clutch include luck. Imagine that luck is at every stage, because that's how it really is. Alright, now for the most fun part of the video, all the examples, and we get to see how they follow this big map. First clip. This round started off with me hiding in the back of the map. The teams were comparable, so I was hiding safe. It is now a 2v4 or a 1v4 for my teammate, so I start to move into the B site because that's where I can hear everything going down and I want to get a bit closer. As I approach, the last of my team is killed, which is good. I am now the last alive and I'm moving closer to the site. However, I don't pick this guy off that I see, as the guide might suggest, because that isn't what I mean by pick off. He's clearly surrounded by enemies, they're in a group, and I don't want to give away my position to the whole enemy team just yet. Do not break stealth unless you have to. I'm waiting for the plant, and I see someone going into plant right now. There are 3 enemies alive, one of them just got kicked for inactivity. I have a choice now. I saw one guy of the 3 run away. There are 2 in the site. I could kill both these guys and hope the third guy cannot make it back in time, or I could go for the ninja defuse. I have not been spotted yet at all, so I think my chances are better with the ninja defuse. I do not break stealth unless it's the only option. So you just have to make calls like that and live with the consequences. I'll never know what would have happened if I had killed them. I go for the ninja and put everything up to fate. Did he hear me? Did he bump into me on his way out? No, I get the defuse, and that was my first clutch medal after a lot of failure. Feels great. That worked out so perfectly it looked staged, but I assure you it is not. Here's another clip. Let's see what happens here. I was hiding safe. I became the last alive, and I'm now approaching the site. I expect the plant here based on the enemy activity. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to hear the guy planting, and this happens. Now the guide dictates in this scenario I can't ninja anymore, so I should wait until the last second to defuse. However, this clip was before I came up with that idea, so I just wandered in. I don't know what I expected, because someone would surely be watching the bomb right after the plant like that, and I am spotted, the jig is up, I end up winning the round thanks to their momentary incompetency, but that was a disappointing waste of a perfectly good 1v2 scenario. Oh, and rip controller. Charge your controllers, folks. You don't want that to be the reason you fail the clutch defuse. Next clip. The enemy team was better here, but it is a 6v6, so I started out by hiding safe and letting my team die off. For some reason, other people started hanging out by me, but thankfully some enemies got all the way over here too. I could have left this guy alone and slipped away, but it was a 2v5, so I wanted to start thinning out the ranks. The bomb has been planted, but I need the last of my teammates to die, so I hang out and make my way over there the long way, waiting for him to hopefully make his move. He does, he gets a kill. Thankfully no more, and he goes down. Now, last alive, this is a 1v3 approaching the site. Strategy dictates it would be too difficult to run down the clock and defuse after everyone leaves. Since there are too many people, someone is bound to stay watching the bomb, and this map doesn't really help with that tactic, so I should enter and quickly kill any defenders who notice me. They definitely both do. I kill both of them, and then immediately defuse and hope that third guy does not react fast enough to reach me, and guess what? That plays out perfectly. He gets there just a little bit too late. This clip just demonstrates how you can be hiding all day, but if your team is too good, you'll never get a shot. I don't generally advise quitting, but if your team is so good that they're winning everything without you, they'll probably keep winning without you. So you might as well give the enemy team a better shot. So I don't think quitting in that scenario is a bad thing. Quitting because your team is winning too much. That's a novel idea. Next, actual clip. I camped it out until my teammate died, then tried to get a kill, failed, decided not to die. Eventually the bomb was planted and I worked my way over there, and there was nobody here. Strategy says wait until the last second to defuse in this situation, but I hadn't made that strategy yet, so an open bomb site was very inviting. With better timing, I could have gotten really lucky and this could have worked, but the luck was not with me on that one. Close, but no cigar. Maybe waiting until the last second would have helped. He could have assumed that I just wasn't going for it and started to hunt for me. Or maybe not. Maybe he would have stayed zoomed in on the bomb. His line of sight is where it was planted for after all. Moving on, I love this clip. I think this is the moment my strategy evolved and became much better. I was hiding safe. My teammate was in a 1v1, and thankfully he lost it, leaving me in a 1v1. So I moved closer to the B site to see if I could hear a plant and ninja defuse it. What do you know though, eventually he planted A. So this whole time running over there, I'm thinking, what should I do? What should I do? I can't just run in there now. It's too late to ninja defuse. He's going to be watching it. What else would he be doing? It's a 1v1. He won't just run across the map looking for me and leave the bomb alone. So I craft this odd strategy where I'm going to hide up here in the corner, and in my head, he's going to run up the stairs past me, exiting the site after assuming I'm nowhere to be found and not going for it. And it actually happens, to my surprise and glee. I squeak past him, thank God for dead silence, best perk in the world. I run right to the bomb and have time to defuse, thinking, no way, surely he didn't leave that early, surely he'll come back and check. But it actually works. He gets back just a bit too late, and that strategy was permanently added to my playbook. In a 1v1, wait it out until they assume you're AFK or bad at the game, then go for it. Because if you go in before that, you're going to end up in a head-on-head gunfight, and you've already lost at that point since you can't kill him, and he isn't going to let you defuse once he knows where you are. This clip relates to the cloak or the active camo. This is the only time I actually had it earned and was in a position to try to use it, and these are the results. My teammate just refused to die, but the time was running out, so I had to go for it. Just start defusing and hope he dies. He does, and I cloak it up. One guy missed me, the other checks the bomb and looks away. Did it just happen? Did active camo save the day? No. It's good, but not great. It was enough for one guy to miss me and one guy to do a double take, but he thought for a minute and said, oh, wait, I saw that, and went back to finish me off. Very close there. You can see how active camo is plausible, but definitely not guaranteed easy mode. I will say most of the ninja diffuses I saw in that one montage did take advantage of active camo in some way, so I do still recommend trying it, even though I never got it to work. It must feel epic to get an active camo diffuse off. I would apologize for being boring at this point, but this is YouTube, so you can click away at whatever point you decide you're done. I will maximize the amount of good clips in this video to cover tons of scenarios for people interested in this challenge. So next is this one. I was hiding close to bombsite B because there's a better hiding spot here, but it is planted at A. It is a 1v2, so I decided to go for the wait until the last second tactic, and since it is a 1v2, I can kill someone if I need to. I sneak close and hide here, wait until the last second. I hear people running away now. Will it happen? No, the luck was not on my side. He checked again. Maybe he heard me, or maybe he's just paranoid, and rightfully so. This clip is an interesting one. My teammate was in a 1v1, thoughts are racing through my head. I hope he loses this fight, please lose. And he does, so I move in closer. I don't know exactly where the enemy is. I want to catch him planting, but he isn't there. I spot him behind me though, and I run away. I don't know if he saw me. If he did, he might be trying to get me. If not, he might just go plant. I make the wrong call, and when I get back in time to check, he has already planted, so I can't get behind him to ninja defuse, although in this case it probably would not have worked since he boosted backwards to look at the bomb. For some reason, when he boosts away, I had a knee-jerk reaction to shoot at him, as if the challenge was over when I wasn't there in time to ninja, but I stop myself and run away to come back at a different angle. I go all the way around and think, well, okay, he's definitely watching the bomb. If I have any shot at this at all, it's to wait to the last second, but he knows I'm trying for it because I shot at him. Sure enough, when the time is up and I have to move, he's there waiting for me. The jig is up, so I take him out to win the round. The good part of this challenge is that it got me very good at knowing how much time I need to defuse. Check out that 0.0 second defuse though. Okay, only a couple more. Bonus clip first. This was just really weird. I thought these people were boosting for the ninja challenge. I really did, because this guy avoids that enemy and then just plants standing up while an enemy is right there behind him, and then beside him, that enemy runs to the corner and teabags the ground. I'm thinking, damn, these guys are in on it together. I can't believe I ran into this. He finishes the plant and walks over to who I assume is his friend. He waits to kill the other enemy, and at this point, I'm expecting the firebreak guy to defuse, but in the end, this guy ends up defending the bomb from both of the enemies. I just really don't know what went down there. Thankfully, no boosting. Nearly done. This one just shows how even when your team seems way too good and you're losing all hope, the enemy team can make a crazy comeback. Unfortunately, this clip ends in the embarrassing way of me lying down in the wrong place and picking up a weapon. I hate that. That could have very easily been a clutch medal. Oh well. Now, this last game is legendary. The first round is an even-ish match, so I hide safe. On fringe, for me, that means out here behind a rock. Eventually, it comes down to a 1v4, and the bomb is planted at the same time. I let the time tick down a bit to hopefully let people fan out and look for me, let them think I'm AFK, let them think I'm not coming. I know what strategy I'm going to use. I see this guy running away, which is a great sign. Time to make a move, enter, kill the people guarding, and immediately defuse. Hopefully the one guy whose whereabouts are unknown is not closer than the ruin I saw running away. Halfway through the defuse, I can hear running footsteps approaching. Do I have time? And I do, just barely. They both arrive a second too late to stop me, so that's 4 clutch medals now total. Where's the last one? I said this was the last game. And what makes it legendary? Well, instead of cutting here, allow me to fast forward through this attacking round, because in the very next defending round, much to my surprise, because honestly, when I get 1 clutch medal in a game, I keep trying, but I more or less write the rest of the game off, because if they got ninja defused once, I assume they'll be on higher alert for the rest of the game. However, let's see how this goes. It is a 3v6 now, half the team quit, so the situation has changed. I go to my safe rock, but then realize, no, that's not the right idea. I don't want to be hiding behind that rock in a 1v6. I'll never be able to get close to the bomb site. It'll be crawling with people post-plant. So I change up my game plan to follow the strategy. The enemy team is much better than mine. I run to hide in the bushes next to the planks on B site, because that's my next favorite spot. Suddenly, surprise, there's already someone here planting. Well, that's a ninja defuse opportunity if I've ever seen one, but my team is still alive. The thing is, with 6 enemies alive and the bomb going down, I will never get another chance to defuse this thing. It's now or never. I just have to hope my team dies, so I make that decision. The enemy team is good, and there are 6 of them. That's not too crazy, right? They can get all those kills. When the bomb goes down, 1 guy dies. Awesome. Step 1 complete. I'm starting defusing, and I'm not dead yet. That's step 2. Please die, other guy. Please die. I hear fighting, and he dies. Thank you, King Victor 7 for the killing, and thank you, Max Corn 10 for the dying. That, ladies and gentlemen, is 2 clutch medals in back-to-back rounds, obviously ignoring the attacking round in between. How does that even happen? Considering everything that has to come together for one of these clutch medals, the luck required to get them back-to-back, very crazy thing. I won't pretend like it was strategy alone that got me those 2 clutch medals. A lot of luck is always involved in this. However, I will point out that everything I did more or less followed this guide, my little decision tree flowchart thing here. Hopefully it is a helpful thing for you guys if you're going for this challenge, along with the other mixed bag of information presented in this video. With the Ninja challenge complete there for me, that is the finale of this video. A crazy long one, so I won't have many closing remarks here. I'll link an upload of the standalone image of the flowchart here. I don't recommend studying it or printing it out or anything, or even reading it while playing like that. It should just give you an idea of how I did my thinking. It's not like you should follow it word for word. You have to be able to react to the situation and make the call you think is right. That flowchart is just a skeleton that should guide you in the right direction. Alright, time to wrap this thing up. Took tons of time, but I have to say this might be my favorite guide so far. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you next time.